Do you ever meet people who bring negativity into your life? Ever wonder how to spot them? Listen up. This Zen story will teach you 9 signs to recognize those who might hold you back. So sit tight and learn how to protect your inner peace. And remember, knowing these signs can empower you to build healthier relationships. So get comfortable and stay until the end. Before we proceed, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. In a serene Buddhist monastery tucked away in a remote region of Japan lived the elderly and wise monk Hogai, a young woman, eager to find answers to the anxieties caused by some toxic relationships, approached the monk with respect. "Hogai, it's said that you know the secret to recognizing bad people and protecting inner peace," asked the young woman, eager to learn as much as possible from the monk's wisdom. With his typical calmness, Hogai replied, "Of course, my dear. If you have the patience to listen, I'll tell you about the signs you need to pay attention to in order to understand who you're dealing with. But first, let me make a preamble. Calling people bad doesn't necessarily mean they're monsters. Rather, it's about identifying individuals whose actions and energies can undermine our serenity and mental well-being. Before distancing ourselves from them, we must try to understand the reasons that led them to be as they are. Often, it's the pain and trials they faced that have made them bitter, troublesome, and even harmful. So, dear woman, before pushing someone away, ask yourself why they behave that way. Is it really a bad person, or is there something that makes them so? And can I do something to prevent them from continuing to pollute my emotions? Only after finding an answer, decide if, to preserve your mental health, you should distance yourself from those people. The young woman reflected on Hogai's words and was moved, understanding the immense empathy behind them. If someone can harm us, we should only distance ourselves after making sure we can't do anything about it. Now that we've clarified this aspect, the monk continued, let's start with the first sign you need to pay attention to: constant manipulation. Imagine someone skillfully distorting reality to get what they want. It could be a colleague using deceit to advance in their career, for example, when facing a potential promotion for you. They start manipulating you by telling you that some superiors speak ill of you, suggesting you accept a job offer from another company. You might think they're doing it for your own good, but in reality, their intention is to get the promotion in your place. The young woman listened attentively, fascinated by the monk's wisdom, and thought of a very similar experience she had lived a year before. The young woman pondered on these words as Hogai moved on to the second sign: the lack of genuine empathy. Think of someone who shows indifference to your feelings or experiences, who seems interested only when it benefits them. This behavior can deeply undermine the quality of personal relationships because you instinctively feel that person doesn't truly care about your well-being. They show empathy only when they need something in return. Continuing, Hogai described the third sign: the constant creation of conflicts. Imagine someone who, despite any harmonious situation, always seeks conflict, fueling arguments and discord. This attitude not only generates stress in relationships, but can also contaminate the surrounding environment, making it toxic. The fourth sign is the constant need for control. Imagine a friend or partner who tries to influence every decision you make, seeking to direct your life according to their desires. Every time you reveal your plans or desires, that person starts taking initiatives to try to divert you from what you want in favor of their goals. This need for control can create a toxic dynamic, undermining your autonomy and authenticity. The fifth sign, Hogai continued, is the constant lack of respect for personal boundaries. Think of someone who systematically ignores your privacy, invading your personal space, or not respecting your requests for solitude. This behavior can generate feelings of vulnerability and insecurity, undermining your personal freedom. Remember, everyone has the right to their own space. Before the site number 6, if you are finding this content valuable, consider subscribing to the channel. It would help me a lot. Hogai then moved on to the sixth sign: the frequent use of lies or half-truths. Imagine someone who builds an intricate maze of lies, obscuring the truth to get what they want. The woman immediately thought about what was happening with Mark, a friend of hers, who constantly exaggerated his experiences to appear more interesting, telling exaggerated or distorted stories to arouse admiration, creating a distorted perception of himself in the eyes of others. This constant tendency to use lies, added Hogai, represents the sixth sign of ill-intentioned or otherwise false people ready to harm you in some way. The seventh sign, explained Hogai, is the pattern of vindictive behavior. Think of someone who, at the slightest sign of criticism or rejection, actively seeks to retaliate or punish you. The young woman immediately thought of Amy, a colleague who, when faced with a reprimand, had reacted by spreading false and negative news about her with the intention of casting her in a bad light in front of other employees. This attitude, concluded the monk, can generate a cycle of negativity and destroy the foundations of human relationships. And here we come to the 8th sign, the constant search for attention. Imagine a friend who incessantly seeks approval through excessive attitudes or by dramatizing every situation. The young woman immediately thought of a friend in the group she went out with, who, every time they were together, drew everyone's attention to herself by dramatizing every moment. The 9th sign to watch out for, said Hogai, is the lack of responsibility. Think of those who constantly avoid taking responsibility for their actions, always blaming others. And here the young woman thought of her brother and at least 3 other people she knew. The brother who, as a boy, got into trouble and then blamed his younger sister. Hogai took a moment to allow the words to settle, ensuring that the young woman fully understood what she had heard. Then, with a calm voice, he concluded, recognizing these 9 signs requires a very acute perception, because often we don't want to see that even people we care about, more or less intentionally. What does this tale teach us? In the intricate dance of human relationships, wisdom lies in awareness. Be mindful of the signs. Listen to your inner voice and wisely choose those who will accompany you on your spiritual journey. Remember, your inner peace is precious and deserves relationships that nurture and preserve it. If you found this content valuable, consider subscribing to the channel for more productivity-focused content and updates on upcoming challenges and experiences. Until next time, wishing you days filled with productivity and accomplishment. See you soon.